Hello, you're listening to a podcast. This is three family members. We're talking ball. We may banter a little bit, and we're having a ball. This is Butterball. My name is Scott.
Hey y'all, I'm Nicole. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Butterball Podcast. We post clips on there and other fun things. So follow us on Instagram at Butterball Podcast.
I'm Drew. You can watch us on YouTube at Butterball Podcast or listen to us on Spotify. Just search Butterball.
Alrighty. Well, it's the first week of April, and the Final Four is here for both men's and women's basketball. We said we've been following that tournament, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to roll into the Major League Baseball season start and talk a little bit about that and what we expect to see throughout the year and any other thing interesting that we think has came up. So let's start with the women's Final Four. We've talked about it for the last couple of weeks. As we've seen the tournament progress, we were like, yeah, this is kind of a top runner type tournament, you know. And as you look at the Final Four now, they're all number ones in the Final Four. It's just crazy. So you got South Carolina, they're going to play UConn, and Texas is going to play UCLA. Any surprises there, anybody? Were you guys surprised by that?
Sounds boring.
Yeah, not at all. Not watching a ton of it. I mean, maybe now I'll start watching it more since now it'll get interesting, even though still we know UConn obviously is like major favorite. Am I correct on that?
You're correct. They're the major favorite. Well, the spreads they've closed down some, and that's a major change. But yes, UConn's a favorite.
Yeah, maybe now I'll watch the Final Four. I was not super into it. I didn't even make a women's bracket this year. They send that at my work too, and I didn't even make one because it's not as fun.
I was going to say, it sounds like, because it's so unsurprising, maybe I should have put a bracket together there and won some money.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have won any money, though.
Well, if you followed the betting lines in that one, Drew, I think you would have been a lot more accurate, I'm sure.
You would have had to put in like $1 billion.
Is there a prize for the women's?
No, I don't know. That's a great question. And
Probably not, because it'd be too
wonder
easy.
if somebody's got all the women's bracket right.
Well, wouldn't
today,
it be a little bit sexist to not have a prize for the women's bracket based off what you just said?
It could be, but have you heard it advertised that, hey, if you get the women's bracket right, you win $1 million? I mean, if you win the men's, don't you get $1 million or something? Isn't that the deal?
Yeah, it's like $1 million bucks.
Is it really $1 million? I thought it was like a new car.
No, it's like $1 million bucks if you get it all right.
Well, new car, $1 million. Who cares? You get it right, you get it right. I mean, it's like, it's a big deal.
Who pays the $1 million?
It's run by ESPN.
Yeah, I think it was ESPN thing or something. Yeah, but do they do that for the women?
But then you have to check the little Allstate thing and the little other thing.
I don't know. Well,
I never check it because I know I'm never going to win.
So anyway,
I don't want them to have my
great question on the women's side, because I think the women's bracket would be a lot easier to predict on the women's side. Because like when you look at what happened, it was Sweet 16 Final 8 weekend as they go to the Final Four, right? Oh, Texas, again, they're a number one seed. They beat their opponents by 22 and 36 to get to the Final Four. Can you believe that? I mean, to get to the Final Four, they're kicking the crap out of. I mean, nobody's even like testing them. 22 and 36? You'd be kidding me. South Carolina, they beat OU. Nicole,
I mean, you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was coming.
You did. And you predicted 23. It was actually 26. They beat them by 26.
Wow.
And then they beat TCU by 26. So again, Lee. UConn, they beat Notre Dame by 18 and North Carolina by 21 to get to the Final Four. And UCLA beat Minnesota by 24 and Duke by 12. So they had the nail biter. That was the nail biter, the 12-pointer. For UCLA to get there. I mean, it's amazing to me. So at least in the Final Four, you got, I think now we're finally there. These are the games you probably really want to watch. I mean, again, if people are saying, well, geez, you're not going to watch women's basketball. No, I love watching women's basketball because, I mean, there's so many good players. And, you know, we followed the Caitlin Clark thing when she was playing in college too. And that was fun, but not when they're winning by, you know, and teams are blowing them out in the tournament's boring. I think it's boring. But at least now you got UConn's favored by 6.5 over South Carolina. And, you know, South Carolina's a beast of a team. They've won the national title before a couple times. So I think that, you know, maybe that'll be a battle. So that could be a good one. And then you got UCLA, Texas, and that's a 1.5 point spread in that game. So, hey, we're there. We can maybe see some actual let's fight them out type basketball, but it takes the top 4 to do it on the women's side.
Amazing.
It is. It's a little bit different. A little bit different. On the men's side, okay, now this is a little bit different. And I'm not saying, oh, men's is so much greater, but it is. It's better. It really is. It's been a lot more fun to watch. I'm sorry, but that's kind of the truth. We've got the final 4. You got Illinois is going to play UConn, and Michigan is going to play Arizona. Illinois is a 3 seed. UConn's a 2 seed. And oh, that UConn Duke game. Did you guys watch that?
I watched the clip of obviously the end.
Oh my God.
I saw the ending, but that's it.
That was such a great, it's a ESPN instant classic. UConn was trailing by like 19. They were getting their asses kicked the whole first half. And that starts the second half. And I'm like, shit, I'm kind of half watching, half, looking at my iPad and stuff. And I'm just waiting for like the 10-minute mark. Cause I'm thinking they got to be within 10 at 10 minutes, just to have a chance. And they were. And then I'm thinking, well, I wonder what's going to be at 5 minutes. I can't remember how much they were behind. And then all of a sudden, they finally started making their 3-point shots. They sucked from 3-point land all day. All of a sudden, they made, like 5 of their last 6 shots or something. Stole the ball a couple times, and then that last play, Duke just has to like get the ball down the court, and they didn't. UConn intercepted it. Guy takes like a 35-foot shot and wins the game with like 0.4 seconds left. It was the only time they led, Well, they might have led by a bucket at the beginning or something, but it was incredible. That was, well, I'm so happy because I have UConn in my pool. So,
Right.
Hey,
Of course you're excited about that one.
Yeah. But it was just, it was an amazing game.
I saw 2 funny clips. One was the Duke player that was guarding the guy who took the shot, like, doesn't even move whenever he, like, throws it up because he's like, he's so far away. He's literally just standing there. Like, he didn't even try a little bit. So I saw some funny clips about that because it's, like, the most important shot of the game and you don't even try to, like, contest the shot at all. That guy's probably hating his life and is, like, afraid to step foot on campus after that. And then the other one I saw, I'm going to have to pull it up if you haven't seen it. Have you seen what the coach did? Did you see what the coach did when they hit the buzzer beater? Oh my God, it's funny. Well, like, do you know how typically the coaches are not going to give any type of reaction? Hold on. I need to pull it up so that.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't like bow his head and.
No, Dad. No, you obviously didn't see it. Hold on. You didn't see the reaction of the coach because this was insane. Typically, wasn't it Duke that had a buzzer beater in the previous round or pretty similar experience in the previous round?
It was years ago. They had like a last second shot where they beat Kentucky. Yeah. And it was years and years and years ago. And it's like
this year.
This year? A buzzer beater? I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't Duke. Someone else this year had like almost something important. It wasn't like an actual literal buzzer beater, but it was like something at the end like, oh wow. And like obviously, the coaches it was Kentucky, thank you, the other blue team. It was Kentucky did. And so then the coaches just like stone cold, and that's typical in basketball. The coaches, really just don't. Men's coaches I noticed specifically because the women's coaches think Kim Mulkey are very animated. So I don't know why, but the men's coaches are always, suited up and like don't even move, even whenever something great happens. This coach, however, it was absolutely hilarious what he did, and I cannot believe that you haven't seen it. All right. Well, the pod listeners are not going to like this, but
what the hell was that?
What's he doing? Not see it?
What's he doing staring down the referee for? That's
something
hilarious.
Else must have happened in the earlier part of the game. But
so when you were saying coach, okay, so when you were saying coach, I thought you meant Shire from Duke because he was like trying to be stone. Okay. Well, Hurley's a different deal. He is animated. I like the guy. I mean, a lot of people don't like him because he's just out there and he shows his emotions and stuff, but I think he's awesome. I bet the players love him.
I just can't believe that. I mean, like, again, you watch the Kentucky coach after the buzzer beater, doesn't move. You watch this guy after the buzzer beater, he's screaming, he's yelling, and then mean mugs the ref in his face.
It looked like a UFC stare down.
I wonder what that was all about.
Well,
gonna have to do a little research on that.
Happened. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
I did see that player for Duke that you said didn't put his hand up. Did
Yeah.
you see what his Instagram handle was? You'll never guess what it is.
Hands
No,
up.
what is it?
Get your hand up.
No!
You gotta be kidding me.
No, that's
No!
serious.
Oh my gosh.
No way.
Oh no. Well, he's got to change that.
He has
Yeah.
to change it right off.
Yeah.
That is so bad.
Oh man. Whew. Yee. Well, you better follow
just
through
pretty
if you're gonna
bad.
take something as your handle, right? It's gotta be there. Wow.
Yeah, oof.
Wow,
Oof,
that's
oof.
crazy. Okay, well, so I don't know. I mean, that was a fantastic game. I didn't watch Arizona. They won by 21 and 15 to get there. So they were just Arizona's a force. So this will be interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Pick them to win.
Well, Michigan is too, though, because Michigan, they won pretty big too. God, they beat Tennessee by 33. They beat Alabama by 13. Michigan was they were playing hard, and they're a number one seed. Arizona's number one seed, and that's who's going to meet, thankfully, on that side of the bracket. And then you got Illinois and UConn on the other side. But you could see possibly an all Big Ten final, which would be wild. And Drew, that would be what you're hoping for in our blind pool that we did, where it's just a game of luck of the draw, and then you use the spreads. Drew, you have Illinois, so
Yep. Go
that's
Big
you.
Ten.
And then basically Nicole, you and Lulu, your partner,
Woo, woo, woo.
you own everybody else. So it's Nicole against the world. Drew, you're the world. Well, I guess Nicole's the world. Maybe Nicole's the world. So it's Drew against the world in our blind pool.
Nice.
So it's Illinois. Yeah.
So Drew said, if I remember correctly, and run the tapes, Drew said he would put money on the blind draw.
You can't
I
do
think
it
he did.
now when we're this far in.
You did say
Come
it,
on.
though.
Yeah, you can't back down from it. Well, Illinois' got a shot. Illinois, I think, is actually favored against UConn, which is
All right.
it's interesting because the UConn-Duke game, I mean, Duke was big and bad, and they're they got some big guys, and they were tough. UConn wins it. Illinois is almost the same type of team. I mean, they got big dudes. They got a lot of height. They got guys that can shoot from the outside. They're just, man, they're tough, and they're playing well. So I think that's going to be a great game. And then Michigan, Arizona, since they're both number ones, I know less about them because I didn't watch them through the tournament
There's my
as much as I did the other ones.
crime.
But I think they're going to
Come here,
be.
Lulu.
I think that's obviously going to be a good game too. So I think this is going to be pretty fun this weekend.
Nobody's seen Lulu yet.
Lulu.
Me and Lulu against Drew.
Yeah. Yep. Lulu's helping out. And when you look
does
at our
Lulu
ES,
have?
what?
Who does she have?
I think Lulu had Michigan, and then you had UConn and Arizona,
Perfect.
and then Drew has
Michigan's
Illinois.
free one.
Yeah. And then in our ESPN pool that we did where we actually have to pick the winners.
Yeah.
This will be interesting too. Drew, you're out. Sorry.
I'm back to last.
Yeah. Your Purdue didn't pan out for you. Iowa didn't pan out for you. And so boom, boom, and it's over. But on the other side, both your mother and Nicole picked Arizona to win it all. And Nicole, you're way ahead of mom. So if Arizona wins, you're going to win. And you have 2 of the final 4 teams picked.
Yeah.
I
I'm
actually
upset that it's not more.
I'm actually going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I got 3 of the final 4s picked.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I picked Illinois, UConn, and Arizona. Iowa State let me down. But I need UConn to win, and then I'll win. But so if Arizona wins, you win, I think, and if UConn wins, I win.
So what I hope is that it's UConn versus Arizona in the championship. That would be
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, now that I've seen the awesome clip of the UConn coach, I'm gonna be kind of sad now if he loses, because I mean I want to win the bracket. I want to win the bracket, but it's a likable guy.
His story is, you guys are young, so you probably don't know, but back when Duke ruled basketball in the 90s, his brother played for Duke, Bobby Hurley, and he was a point guard for Duke. He was amazing. They won 2 national titles in a row, and Bobby went to the NBA, and he was just a superstar player, and he was the story of the family. Danny Hurley, he went to Seton Hall, and he struggled. He had mental struggles. He struggled to live up to his big brother, all that, because everybody expected him to be every bit as good as his big brother and all that kind of stuff. And so, fast forward 20, 30 years, and now you're looking at, but when Bobby Hurley went to the NBA, he got in a car accident, messed up his career basically. And so he kind of like, he made his money and stuff. And then I think he probably started getting into coaching and stuff. Well, Danny, ended up finishing it playing, and then he got into coaching, and now Danny's the star coaching guy, and Bobby just got fired from Arizona State. So it's
Oh, wow.
just it's an interesting story. And their dad was like a Hall of Fame high school coach on the East Coast, where they both played high school ball and stuff like that. So huge basketball family, but he's he's one of those guys that has definitely achieved a way higher level as a coach than he did as a player, which is awesome. He obviously knows how to teach the game, so it's cool. Okay, so Final Four action. I think it's going to be fun. I think the women play on Friday and Sunday, and the men play on Saturday and Monday. So, now that we've got close games on the women's side and what looks to be really good games on the men's side, Friday through Monday, you got action to watch there. So that'll be fun. So from here, we were going to go into the start of the Major League Baseball season. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of go division by division and see, what do we think is going to happen this year, or what are the experts saying about what's going to happen this year? Is it any different than last year? And just talk a little bit about baseball. Does that sound good?
Curious to what you guys have to say.
Okay, so, all right, let's start in the American League. So in the American League, last year in the East, the Blue Jays won the AL East. Well, they and the Yankees tied, and then they had to play it off, right? Because they both won 94 games.
Mhm.
And then the Red Sox got the wild card bid right behind them. They were like 5 games back. So, and then the Rays and the Orioles were way, way behind those guys at the end of the season. So who's the team to beat in the AL East this year? What are the experts saying, Drew?
The experts picked the Blue Jays. I think it's still probably the Yankees, though. I do like the Jays, but it's a very, very tough American League division. And the Yankees kind of they figure out the long season a little bit better than I think the Jays do.
Right. So you got, Blue Jays, Yankees. So they're neck and neck. The Red Sox are right behind them. So you kind of expect those three to battle it out. Is there any reason why?
The Orioles?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is there any reason why the Orioles or the Rays would bounce up there and challenge these guys? Is anything happening for their teams to make that happen? Or
yeah, I do think the Orioles will finish ahead of the Red Sox. Actually, I have the Jays and Orioles as wild card teams.
Really? So what's changing for the Orioles that's going to bring them? Because they got last in the division last year.
Yeah, last year was a weird year for them. They sucked because the year before that, they almost won the division.
Oh, okay.
Then
they have injuries
got
last year?
swept. I don't really know what their story was last year, because the year before that, they made the playoffs and got swept. And then the very next year, they just couldn't repeat it. Sophomore slump type of thing.
Okay.
But then this year, they added Pete Alonso, Taylor Ward, couple of other guys. So I think they're going to be a lot better than they were last year for sure.
Well, that'll be fun to watch then. I mean, because, they finished almost 20 games out last year. Well, it's 162 game seasons. They'll be fun to see. I don't know. I think the experts are saying the same things you are. When I looked at it, they obviously say the Blue Jays and the Yankees will fight it out, but they do mention the Red Sox and the Orioles both, which I found interesting because the Orioles were last.
I don't think the Red Sox are a bad team at all. Like, they were good last year. I think the Orioles are going to be better now, and the Red Sox are going to kind of suffer from the rest of their division being so good.
Yeah. Well, in one of our previous podcasts, we all like the Orioles uniforms, so we kind of probably want to see them there, don't we?
I love the Orioles uniforms, so I'd like to see that in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see that bird flying. So
I've been seeing people wearing that hat. Maybe it's because we talked about it, so then it brings it like front of mind. But I've seen like multiple men wearing the Orioles hat out.
It's a great hat.
And about lately.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great hat. Okay, so let's go to the Central. So the Central, last year, Cleveland won the division. Detroit was 1 game behind them, and they both went to the playoffs. Detroit got the wild card. Cleveland won the division. And then the Royals were 6 games back, and then you had the Twins and the White Sox trailing by a larger margin. What do you think? What about the Central? Same? or it's going to change a little bit? Detroit?
I think it'll be the Tigers this year. I think they'll edge out the Royals this time. I don't think the Guardians got any better, but those two did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Speaking of the Tigers, why? I was talking about this last night. Why does Detroit have the Lions and the Tigers?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
What's up with
back
that?
in years and years and years ago, the St. Louis had the Cardinals and the Cardinals.
That makes more sense. The Lions and the Tigers.
Well, Chicago has the Bears and the Cubs, and the reason they have the Bears or the Cubs, one of them was there first, and the other one was like, well, we're going to do something different, so we'll be a
I
bear.
would think the
The
Cubs
other
would
version?
have predated the Bears.
Yeah, so the Cubs were there first, so then George Halas said, well, we're going to be the Bears then. So I think that kind of went hand in hand, so maybe that was it.
I don't like that.
Why?
You're the baby cub. Oh, then I'm going to be the daddy bear.
Well,
so stupid.
Well, they probably figured out football. It's a bang bang sport. Maybe it's a little different. We're gonna be the bigger monsters in town.
What's tougher, a lion or a tiger then?
Well, because back then everybody went to baseball. Nobody cared about football when football first got started. They had to barnstorm and everything else. It was they had to gin up an interest in their league. Oh, maybe that was why.
It's not America's sport.
Hey, it's marketing. Marketing was it 101 or 202 or was he way ahead of his time? 303? I don't know. He could have been way ahead of his time. I don't know.
Who?
George Halas. Papa
With
Bear.
the Bears?
Yeah, the guy who started the Bears.
Okay.
I guess we lost our train of thought on Detroit, didn't we?
Anyways, I like the Tigers pitching better than the Royals, so that's why I think the Tigers will finish ahead of them.
Okay. All right. But basically, you got a three-team race is what you're thinking in that division. Cleveland, Detroit, and KC, right?
Yeah.
Are the Twins of the White Sox going to do anything that's going to bring them up? Or are they just going to be down
Maybe the Twins, probably not, and definitely not the White Sox.
Yeah. Man, I grew up in the Midwest, and we used to go to Minnesota, and I love it. And those poor Vikings and Twins fans, they're always disappointed. But, hey, it's just part of living in Minneapolis, I guess. I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with living in Minneapolis. It's cold, but it's nice.
My research tells me that the Athletics could be a sleeper story.
We're not there yet. So oh, wait, we're getting there.
I thought we just got there.
Well, we're in the AL West now. So last year in the West.
I thought we just got there.
I didn't say the West yet, but now I will. AL West.
Oh, my God.
Athletics are a sleeper story, according to Nicole. Seattle won the division last year. Houston was closely behind, and then the Rangers and then the A's and Angels were out of it. So what are you saying? What are you thinking? You're saying the A's are a sleeper team in the West now, huh?
Which that surprised me because I thought that they were worse than that. So
well, they go up and down so much. They're probably a team that ping pongs more than anybody, don't they?
Yeah, they got lots of young talent, and then as soon as that talent becomes free agents, they can't pay them anymore, and they leave, and they get bad again.
And that was kind of always the story of the Twins, too. I mean, the Twins
even when they move, do you think things will change when they go to Vegas?
I think they might end up being better then. They'll have more money than Oakland.
Yeah. People will maybe go to their games.
Maybe.
But Vegas is...
That's what I'm wondering,
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they love the hockey team there, right? And they like the Raiders.
Vegas does love the Golden Knights. The
Golden Knights
Raiders put on a show.
They do. So is there any hope for the Angels? Can you help me out, Drew?
Unfortunately, no. I'm thinking the Mariners are going to win. The Astros are probably a wild card favorite. And then you got the sneaky A's, like Nicole's talking about. And then you have the Angel.
Dad said to do some research, so I did some research.
Well, I'm bummed out because I keep waiting. Okay, so, in the last podcast we talked, Drew, did you sign your bandwagon form yet? Because I see you're wearing a Padres hat, but what's going on with that?
I've not signed yet, but I'm on the brink.
Really?
The transfer portal has not opened yet, so you still have time.
I saw the form. I think you might need to do a little research because there's some questions on the form that I couldn't answer.
What form are you talking about?
Well, there's forms on the internet that you can get to transfer or to go into bandwagon jump. And the Padres one had a couple of questions on there, and you have to be part of their fandom, I think, to know these questions. So, Drew, I think you got some research to do.
It's like a citizenship test to get a green card.
Well, it is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
You have to learn the history of the team.
Hey, let me suggest something. Can I suggest something to you?
To who?
To Drew.
Okay.
To Drew, maybe a bridge. Okay, so because let's not leave the Angels yet. We all have this to bond over. Okay, we love the Angels. They're our American League team. If you want to embrace San Diego, they're your National League team. Just take that on this year, and don't fill out the form yet. Just hold off. Can you do that?
I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay. So
Dad's fighting to keep the family together.
well, I am because it gives us something to bond over. But in 100% transparency, that's actually what I did kind of with the Chiefs and the Bears, because I was like, well, the Chiefs will be my AFC team, Bears will be my NFC team, and then I told you the story before, but like 2015, I was like, okay, I can't stand watching the Bears anymore, so I don't need to keep an NFC team. I'm in on the Chiefs. So hey. But don't make a rash decision overnight. Let's let this play out a little bit. You can have a team in both divisions. Maybe they'll meet in the World Series. It could be a great story.
Not the Angels.
Drew, I know you were recently, or you went to San Diego. What was that? A couple years ago now. Did you go to a game when you were there?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about fan base culture there? Was it a good vibe?
They're only a few hours apart. Their fan bases are not that different.
Well, I'm just curious because I know for Dad, that was a big part of why he bandwagon jumped fan bases, is because like the Chiefs fans just rock. And so that's part of it. So I'm just wondering, like, what was the vibe like in San Diego? Did it feel like a good vibe that you want to be a part of?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, because they're so laid back that they don't even hardly say anything.
It's my type of place.
So let's talk about fan bases a little bit. So you
Yeah,
go to
I think so.
you go to a Bears game.
Who is that?
This is my guy. He's not on the Padres anymore, but he's my favorite player.
So you keep that because you like the Padres now?
Yep. He's not even on the team.
Oh, speaking of future podcast ideas, since we sometimes get short on things to talk about in the summer, I would love to know all things like trading cards. I don't know if Drew is like a personal interest in that, or maybe like might know a few things and might be able to share some knowledge on, what some fun memorabilia is or what to keep an eye out for.
Sure.
Sweet. Maybe I need to grow my collection.
So what was I going to get back to? I was saying we were talking
about
on fan bases. Okay, so you're talking about fan bases.
Yeah.
They can be polar opposites. I mean, we've been to Philly. You saw what those fans are like. Loud.
That was you and Drew only.
No, we were there as a family.
I've been to the Phillies game?
Yes. Yeah, we went to we went and we had a Philly cheesesteak. We went down to the Bell and had our picture by the Bell.
I remember going to the Bell and I remember eating a Philly cheesesteak. I do not remember going to a Phillies game.
Yeah, they played the Padres.
Photographic evidence.
They played the Padres.
I actually do want the photographic evidence because I thought I remember what I wore that day, and there's no way I would have worn that to a baseball game.
There you go.
That was at the God, no.
At the Phillies game.
Woo! I was a little bit heavier drinking every day in college, and that photo was taken.
Well, so anyway, we were there in Philly, and man, those fans were brutal to the Padres folks and stuff, and that's a different fan experience. And so you go to a game there, you go to a game in San Diego, polar opposites, way different. Same way in football, I mean, Chicago, New York, I'm sure is an entirely different experience. I know it's a different experience from going to KC, been to Minnesota before, been to some other stadiums.
What'd you think of Minnesota?
All the times I was to Minnesota, I thought it was kind of boring. Really? They had I haven't been to their new stadium yet. I was there when it was the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome, which was like really shitty dome. Same one that was in the same architecture that was the Colts stadium too. Those were two horrible stadiums.
Before it collapsed?
Yeah, before they both, got blown up and redid, which is great. But yeah, anyway, there was, I don't know.
You don't like the skull?
They weren't doing that when I was there.
Oh, they weren't?
They were like bringing out the Viking on the motorcycle and doing some other things, but they really weren't doing the skull back then. And they really weren't very loud. It was like, I don't know. It was kind of tame, I thought, when I went to Vikings games. Bears games I went to, they didn't get like super loud either, like KC, not even close. There was a lot of people yapping at each other in the stands and that went on, and people making bets and stuff. It was just a different vibe again, But you go to KC and it's like on
Yeah.
the field, loud. It was completely 100% different than the other stadiums, not even close. So
Kansas City just feels like home. I mean, I know that they're my team, but like you just walk in there and it's just like I feel safe.
it's a fun football environment. Yeah,
I
it's
just
great.
feel like yeah, like safe, just
Well,
good.
I'm glad I
comfortable.
had the opportunity to introduce you guys to that. That's good. I
Me
I
too.
told Drew the first time Drew went there, I was like, you really didn't have a team, did you? You were like, I really don't know who my NFL team is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you go to a Chiefs game, you're going to be a fan. And you remember that first weekend there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After the first quarter, Drew's like, can I go get a jersey?
Yeah, bought a jersey right away.
Yeah.
At the first
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Nice.
First quarter. Yeah. And then I think it only took until like halftime for your hangover to cure.
Of
Wasn't it?
course.
Yeah. Something like that. That's pretty good.
Well, Chiefs weekend. Many
Yeah,
stories from Chiefs weekend.
Yeah, it's a good time. So in the American League, then the teams to beat, we got Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, we've mentioned, maybe Orioles, Cleveland, Detroit, Royals, Seattle, A's as a sleeper. Anything about Houston or the Rangers? They're always there.
I think the Astros will be in it.
Are they still cheating these days, or
I don't think so. I
huh?
think they got rid of all the cheaters.
Did they? Okay. Well, so they're doing it legit now, huh? They're a legit team these days?
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Well, that's
Their
good.
fans are annoying.
Well, hey, they were banging on trash cans and winning a World Series at one time, so they were loving it.
And
All
cheating.
right, so then the odds-on favorite to come out of the AL for the World Series is
I think it's
who?
still the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays?
Or
Okay.
it might be the Yankees.
Yeah.
No,
What
it's the
about
Mariners, ain't it?
probably the Mariners? Would probably be pretty hard to beat
Yeah.
too, right? Yeah. So now in the National League, in the East, the Phillies were the team to beat last year, and they kicked the shit out of the rest of the division. I mean, the Mets were the second place team. They were 13 games behind. Everybody else was like trailing huge, and that was the Marlins, Braves, and Nationals. So anything going to change in that division? Is it still the Phillies?
I think I would probably still put my money on the Phillies, but the Braves are kind of similar to the Orioles, where last year was kind of a fluke. They had a lot of injuries. And I think the Braves are going to be the real deal. Then
Okay.
you got the Mets. They're always spending money. They're basically the same team upgraded again. Hopefully they don't collapse at the end of the year like they did last year, and they'll be decent too.
But now they're minus Pete Alonso because he went to the Orioles, right?
Right.
Or was Alonso gone last year? Or was he with them last year?
Alonso's gone this year, but
Okay.
in his place they added Simeon, Bichette, Luis Robert,
Okay.
some new pitching. They'll still be good.
Alrighty then. Phillies, the others got to really catch up though, man, because they were 13, 17, 20, and 30. The Nationals were 30 games behind.
It won't be the Nationals.
Yeah.
It's not going to be them.
Wow. All right. So you go to the Central, and this is where most of the playoff teams came from in the National League last year. You had the Brewers won the division, and then the Cubs and Reds were the wild card teams. And the Cubs were 5 games behind the Brewers, and the Reds were 14 back, and they still were a wild card team. So that just shows you how many games the Central was winning last year. And then, the Cardinals, who have the
Brewers.
best uniforms in the league, were 19 games out, and the Pirates were 26 games out. So what's going to happen in the Central? Anything changing, you think?
Yeah, I don't think the Brewers are going to run away with it like they did last year. I think this year the Cubs are going to win.
Yeah.
And after them, it probably will be the Brewers. And I think the Reds will miss out on the playoffs this year.
I think the Reds are an electric young team.
Who is?
The Reds.
Electric young team. That's what your research tells you?
Yep.
Okay.
Highlight machine is Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was, when we were talking about players to watch, he was on my list because I remember like seeing some highlights of him last year, and he just seems like he just loves the game and is one of those guys, that's just having fun, playing ball, so it's cool.
Speaking of Cincinnati, we lived there for a brief moment. Me and Drew don't really have much memory of it, but Dad, didn't you take us to several Reds games when we lived in that area?
Yeah. One of the first games we took you to, at the time, let's see, you were probably like 9 months old, if that. 9 months, maybe a year, and Drew was then either 1 and 9 months or 2 years. And so we go to the Reds game, and why we decided to do that is just because we were young, and Lori and I are like, well, we're not going to sit in our house all night, so let's go watch a baseball game. Okay. So we go, and I'm like, well, we don't want to be like sitting anywhere where the ball's going to get hit. So let's just buy outfield tickets, let's get outfield tickets way out there. So we buy tickets in right field, and like in the third inning, I think it was Dante Bichette hit a shot, and it's coming right at us. And I'm like, holy shit, it's coming right at us. So I scoop up one of you. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe you, Nicole. Nicole's got Drew, and we're like trying to turn, or mom's got Drew, and we're trying to turn our backs to the action because the ball's like coming, 350 feet right at us. And this dude like sticks his hand up and catches the ball like right in front of mom as she was like turning her back, stepped in, saved the day because he stopped the ball from like drilling mom like in the back.
That's a very like hard decision. What do you do in that case? Do you let the baby get drilled by the ball, or do you let your wife get drilled? You can't really, except there's the one video, the one dad catching the foul ball with the kid in his hand. Yeah. You could have tried to do that. And the beer.
Yeah, catch it in the beer.
And he like also had the beer.
When you watch it on a video, you might think these people had a lot of time to think about it. You really don't. I mean, when you're sitting there, like, watching your kids and stuff, you look up, you hear the crack, you look up and you're like, that's headed our way. And boom, it's like right on you. It was crazy. Well, so then that was in the third inning. Then in the seventh inning, crack. And I don't know who the batter was. It's coming right at us again. And I'm like, oh my God. So again, we do the same drill. We scoop you kids up, and it didn't happen like right in front of us, but there was our row, the row in front of us, and then the row in front of that. So you know how close the rows are when you're in a stadium. That's like, what, 3 feet away? Mm-hmm. A woman in that row in front of the row in front of us, she stuck her hand up here, like in front of her face, and the ball hit her in the hand. Otherwise, it would have hit her in the face. She just like protected herself, And then I looked at Lori and I'm like, we should probably go. This is, I think, game's over for us, So that was one of your first Major League Baseball games. Pretty crazy experience, huh?
That's pretty wild.
And I've never been near a foul ball or a home run ever since then. So
it would have been nice if we would have caught one of the balls and we could have like put it in your car seat on the way home.
It would have been nice if you would have caught both, and then Drew could have had one, and then I could have had one.
Yeah. Well, I don't have that ability, man. It was fast action. It was crazy.
I've always wondered this. So, like, let's say growing up, we were at a major league game and, like, a ball was hit our way. Like, who would you give it to, me or Drew? And would you feel bad about it?
We're not. No, I abstain from answering that question.
No, but we know what the answer is. So, would you feel bad?
Not even going to answer it. Horrible question. Okay,
it's
we're moving on.
It's a good question.
So
I'm not
let's
offended.
talk about the NL West.
You obviously give it to Drew. Because Drew's the baseball fan. And you know what? And I get it. But, like, would you buy me something else?
Oh, yeah. We'd probably get you we would, like, if that were to happen and we would have gave it to him, if that was the decision that was made, not saying it was, but if it was, then we'd probably, like, go to a gift shop and buy you a stuffed animal because you love stuffed animals. That was your thing. So,
see, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, we'd make it right.
That would have been fine.
All right, so let's move on to the West after these hard parenting questions and go to the Dodgers. Okay, Dodgers and Padres. After that, Giants used to like battle in that division. Are the Giants going to be there at all, or no?
Maybe, but I think it'll still be between the Dodgers and Padres, and it'll be lucky if the Padres beat them.
Yeah, they were close last year. It was a three-game race last year, but the Dodgers are the odds-on favorite to win the World Series, right?
They just keep getting better too. Is the worst part.
It is. And now that your National League team is the Padres, you can hate the Dodgers. So that's
I still didn't like them as an Angels fan either.
Why would you like them right now?
Gives you even more. Yeah.
They also took Ohtani, so like there's no reason to enjoy them.
Well, I mean, did they take Ohtani or did
they didn't take him? I mean, he wasn't coming back. I mean,
he's going to get paid somewhere, I mean, if the Angels weren't going to pay him, then somebody was going to pay him, and it's just a matter of where, but so anyway, all right. So we're basically looking at Dodgers versus Mariners or Yankees maybe in the World Series.
I'm hoping.
You thinking?
I'm hoping that it'll be the Mariners.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think there's been some other interesting stories out of Major League Baseball this year. So the first thing is they now have the ABS system. You can challenge balls and strikes via the robot or whatever. And each team gets a 2 per game. And if their challenge is upheld, and they regenerate, like you don't lose your challenge, right? That's how it
Mhm.
is. Is that how it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
did you?
we've been doing it in the minor leagues. So yeah, you get 2. And then if you get it right, you keep your challenge. So you only actually use a challenge if you were wrong.
Yeah. So when you're watching it in the minor league games, is it pretty fun? I mean,
It
doesn't
is
slow the
fun.
game down, right? Yeah.
Not a ton. It's kind of fun because now, like, whenever there's a close call, everybody in stands is like, "Let's go! Like, challenge it!"
Yeah.
because that's what they do is they tap their head. So it's kind of fun. The only thing is like it creates a little bit of like you can see the players trying to come out of the dugout and they're like, "Am I supposed to be out here? Like, are we challenging it? Like what's going on?" So it's kind of funny, but it's not that bad, and you only get 2. So,
Yeah.
and teams are pretty strategic, or the minor league teams that I've watched using it, like they're pretty strategic about when they use it. Unless it's getting towards the end of the game, then it's like, yeah, might as well challenge it. Like, why not? Worst I
Yeah.
could do is lose it, but it doesn't really slow it down. It's kind of fun.
Well, what I read about it is whoever's going to, the managers aren't the ones that initiates the challenge, it's the
Mm-mm.
players. So you have to
Yeah.
make your decision like now and do
Yeah.
it, which I think is a
Yeah.
good way to do it because
Mm-hmm.
then it puts the onus on the game more, and there's kind of hey, you got to empower your players to say, hey, if you want to challenge it and you really think it's there, challenge it, but
Yeah.
they got to think about, are they wasting it for the game or whatever? So there's some strategy there, which is cool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with my buddies. I think it might lose some umpires their jobs. 'Cause we're gonna start seeing statistics of the most challenged umps and the most successful challenges against them, and
Oh, speaking of
who
which,
gets challenged and doesn't count.
so in the news this week, there's an umpire. His name is CB Buckner. Have you seen the stories about him?
I
Yep,
have not.
and that's what I'm
I
talking
haven't.
about.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Oh, this guy's had like one of the worst weeks he could ever have as a major league
Oof.
umpire. It's like, see the mistakes he's making, and you're like, oh my God, how does he even have a job? Right.
Mhm. It's gonna keep
So,
them
That's
honest.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. We've been talking about this in my academic sports work. This has been a topic of conversation is like AI in sports and like to what extent is it like bad or good? And I'm not super into the AI in sports work, so I don't like know what the trends in that research are, but I didn't think about it from this angle of it's not that the robot is replacing the human, it's that we are calling out that the human is doing a bad
It's
job.
grading him.
And so
well,
that's kind of awkward.
Well, in the case of CB Buckner, it's like a two-pronged story because one is, what was it? It was the Reds and Red Sox game, and the players challenged 8 of his pitch calls. 8. I
And
mean,
they were right.
each team
Yeah.
so each team is given 2 challenges. They challenged 8 and they were right 6 times.
6 of them.
And like
Wow.
they said that like after one of the challenges, he just kind of like bowed his head, like ducked his head, like, oh
Yeah, because
shoot.
he knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knows he sucks. I mean, that's to me that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Well,
he's a
the thing
professional
that
umpire,
he's a
you know?
professional umpire, but like that's part of, I'm sure, this academic conversation around it, which like we can open this up. It doesn't have to be academic, but like, is subjection or like, is the, umpire being, just a human being, is that part of what playing a sport is? Or like a referee? Like, is a referee in football always going to be perfect? No. Are they going to always see exactly what happened? No. And so it's like, do we expect this person to be able to perform as well as a robot, or is that kind of like insane for us to have that expectation at the
That's
same
what
time?
I think you have that's a great question. So one would say, okay, so when it comes to challenges, what do we expect to see? Do we expect to see 50-50? Maybe half the time they're right, half the time they're wrong because it's such a minuscule call. But if it's so close, the players aren't going to challenge it because they don't want to be wrong. So
Mhm.
he was so far off that they're challenging it and they're right. So he's not good. I mean, that's my opinion because, as a player, if you know your
I
team
hope he
only
does
has 2
not see this.
challenges, well, I mean, think about it. I mean, that's what the decision making is. If you're a player, your team only gets 2 challenges. You have to be pretty sure that you're right. to challenge, and they were right 6 out of the 8 times. So that's not good. Well, then, did you see the play at first base?
That one I didn't see.
You didn't see? Okay, so you need to go find the video. This is a game. It was, let's see, who was the game? Tampa Bay and the Brewers. So there's a play at first base, and the batter hits a line drive to second. The second baseman gets a glove on it but doesn't catch it, and it's kind of dribbling away. He scoops it up, throws it to first, but he's not in time because the player, he ran the bases and he made his way to first base way in advance. And he like stomps on the middle of the base. It's like there's no doubt that he touches the base. And then he just like turns and walks back to the base. Well, I forget what team was on defense. They came up and tag him, and CB calls him out. Says that he missed first base. Well, when you watch the video, he's not even looking at the play. It's like he's looking at the dugout. It's unbelievable. This is a major league umpire, and he's not even watching the play.
I'm watching the video right now. He couldn't have touched the middle of the base more.
Right.
There was no one in the way. Yeah, no one around him. Like,
right.
I don't understand how you can mistake that one.
Okay, so rewind the video and then watch the umpire. Look where he's looking. He's not even looking. It's like he's looking the other way. It's like, this is your job. This is what you do. What are you doing?
That's pretty bad.
It's unbelievable.
Then the caption to the video is, he must have had money on the game.
And you're paying.
The caption on the one I saw said, "Is he drunk?"
Well, and as a fan, you're paying $100 to go to the game or whatever. I mean, or more. It's freaking crazy. It's unbelievable to me.
He exited the game. Was that today? Hold on.
Yeah, today there was a foul ball hit him in the mask. Yeah, he's having a bad week. Well, I'm sure what happened.
Maybe he got hit and he's like, "This is my moment. See y'all later."
Oh yeah, I'm on disability now. Now I'm on disability and I can't screw up anymore.
Like,
because
I don't know. I have to leave. I was hit by a ball. I must get out.
My arm, I think it's broken.
The ball hit me in the back, and now I cannot see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad stuff.
That's bad.
The other story I saw that I found hugely interesting was an article. It was from the Wall Street Journal online, and they talked about the splitter coming back because the splitter was like a pitch like in the 1980s that pitchers had, and it was a confounding pitch. Nobody could hit it because it was a big drop ball. And I didn't realize that everybody stopped throwing it because they viewed it as a pitch that hurt the elbows, and they thought that it was causing Tommy John surgery, in players. Well, now that, we're 40 years away from the 1980s, they've discovered that, maybe it's just guys that throw like really, really hard. That is the reason they're getting Tommy John surgery. It's really not the splitter. So the splitter's coming back. And the article talked about how popular the pitch is in Japan. The Japanese pitchers pitch it. And the Dodgers, obviously with Ohtani, they throw more splitters than anybody else. And the splitter is like super hard to hit. So it was an interesting story. And I'm surprised it took like 40 plus years to like figure out that the splitter's not breaking people's arms. Huh?
Can we make our first merch? Can it be Justice for the Splitter? Like, why did it get such a bad reputation for so long?
Exactly.
And it's not even the splitter's fault.
Yeah. Splitter justice.
I want a shirt that says "Justice for the Splitter" with the, I don't even know how you hold it, with the grip on the baseball as in the middle.
It's like a fork ball,
I want Justice for the Splitter.
Sure. Yeah. That's wild. That amazed me because I'm like, man, these guys, they're so technical about everything and mechanics. And how could you just abandon a pitch?
Who invented the
pitches?
splitter?
They're kind of like fashion. They go out of style and they come back in style.
What?
I'm serious.
So the journal article said that like last year, if I'm trying to quote it correctly, don't hold me to this 100%, but it was saying like players that are trying to hit the slider or the curve, they're hitting like 220, 230 against it. But against the splitter, it's like 210 or less. People can't hit the splitter. And the most splitters were thrown by the Blue Jays and the Dodgers.
Yep. But the more you see it, the more people start hitting it. They'll stop throwing it again. Then one day they'll start throwing it again. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's amazing. All righty. Well,
Fred Martin invented it. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he did invent and teach the split finger fastball. On the back of the shirt, you might want to include a photo of him to pay
Yeah,
our
Fred Martin.
homage.
Okay.
When did he play? Like the 1800s?
He died in 1979.
When I was a kid playing baseball, we had a pitcher that he could throw one. And man, I couldn't throw a fastball over the plate. So I couldn't even imagine like splitting your fingers and trying to control the ball and throw it over the plate. That just blew my mind. But this guy could actually throw, and it kind of looked like his almost looked like a knuckleball. But it would sink. It was amazing.
I can't tell the
Amazing.
difference between any of the pitches whenever I go to a baseball game, but I also have horrible eyesight, so I think that that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because the ball
Well,
is
the
small
thing
to
about the
me.
splitter is it slows down the rotation, so the ball does drop, and that's the thing. It drops at like the last minute too, or last second, or whatever millisecond before people are gonna hit it. So that's why it's so hard to hit.
Justice
For the splitter. We need it.
R.I.P. Fred Martin.
Okay. All right. Well, so there you go. Baseball season's kicking off. Out of the National League, it's going to be the Dodgers. Everybody else should just like not even show up. I mean, it's really over, right? It's already over, isn't it, Drew? I mean, the season's 162 games, but we already know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Don't we? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, this is going to be one boring baseball season. I mean, I don't even understand why they play it when it's like this. It's weird.
They should shorten it.
Yeah, they should.
It is pretty dang long.
Well, I mean, they could do a sampling. They could play 30 games. The Dodgers are going to kick the shit out of everybody. Okay, just let them go to the World Series. Let's go. Of course, then everybody wouldn't be hurt and stuff. So, maybe that changes it, but I don't know. All right. Well, good discussion, everybody, on the baseball front. And we're good. Spring is kicking off. Grass is turning green. We're ready to swing some golf clubs. It's going to get hot in Texas and maybe other places, but we live in Texas, so it's going to be like hot here. We love it. And so that's good. So let's watch, we'll watch Final Four this weekend. We actually have the Frozen Four coming up for men's hockey in the NCAA. Yeah, it's worthy of a conversation, especially after Olympic hockey. I mean, come on, let's support hockey. We gotta love it. It's a great sport, right?
NHL season's coming to a close too. We could do something with that.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the playoffs there. You got golf kicking up. You got the Masters coming on.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch golf.
Oh, yeah. It's actually exciting. You know it is. Okay.
It's kind of like nap time. Every time you see people watching it, it's kind of nap time.
No. Well, I mean, it depends. If it's like second round or something, maybe. Here and there.
Perfect. In a couple weeks, we've got NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. They're actually in Fort Worth.
Are they really? Wow.
Yes, they are. I didn't realize they were there every year. I guess I do realize now that I say that they've been here the last couple of years, but I didn't know if they're there every year. I unfortunately cannot, because that is a very important weekend for one of my side gigs with minor league hockey. That's when the minor league hockey season ends as well. So we have quite a spectacular fan appreciation night that I am needed to help out at. But maybe next year we can make plans. Well, actually, I could ask it off if I really wanted to. She said to prioritize it, but I could just not.
All right. Well, you make the decision.
We can talk offline about this, but NCAA Women's Gymnastics, I would love it if we would watch that and talk about that, because that is a little bit more my wheelhouse. And actually, plenty of people enjoy watching gymnastics, even if they don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the skills are amazing. Okay. Well, I think we've hit it. So, all right. So you got Final Four weekend. We got Major League Baseball kicking off. And we got a whole summer of stuff to talk about coming up. So until then, thanks for listening today. You've been listening to a podcast of three family members. We're talking sports, talking ball, we're having a ball, and we call this Butterball.
Awesome. Follow us on Instagram at Butterball Podcast. Check out our clips and other fun things on there. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Butterball Podcast.
And subscribe to us on YouTube at Butterball Podcast, or listen to us on Spotify. Search Butterball.
All righty. We'll see you next week.